Greetings, Earthlings, as we look at a view of the local yellow dwarf. It's a composite view consisting of 211 angstroms, 304 angstroms, and 171 angstroms. We don't always look at composite views, but when we do, it's because there's not a lot going on. That active region there is not a sunspot, just a cycle 25 plage, formerly sunspot 2752, has degraded and lost its umbra several days ago, and now it's rotating past the Earth-facing region. Here's the north area, and here's the view in 193 angstroms, where there's a large coronal hole just rotating through the Earth-facing region just north of that active plage. Not to be confused with a plague. And by the way, people have been diagnosed with the plague, the Black Plague, otherwise known as the Black Death, in China. If you thought it's an extinct disease, well, think again. And let's get things started with talking about the word transmute. Now, we're not going to leave links to the Merriam-Webster page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually read out of my home tome. Let's do it. Transmute. To change or alter in form, appearance, or nature, and especially to a higher form. To subject as an element to transmutation. Transmutation, an act or instance of transmuting or being transmuted. The conversion of base metals into gold or silver. The conversion of one element or nuclide into another, either naturally or artificially. Why are we talking about this? Well, because yesterday we were talking with Monty of the SAFIRE project, and we have left links to SAFIREproject.com, where you can read all about what it is, these plasma experiments, trying to design a star in a bottle. And the implications to human technology, etc., are, shall we say, vast. Anyway, Monty Childs appeared yesterday on a 3+ hour episode of The Electric View. Here's a small clip. That's kind of a more.
I would say right now the evidence that we have with SAFIRE in this recent year, it wasn't that we just had heavier elements or other elements being formed on the surface of the anode.
Now, I sat in about 2/3 of this call as it was approaching bed and dinner time at the end. Now, to make these videos, I typically go to bed at like 7 o'clock. And let's let him continue because he's going to say something pretty groundbreaking in response to my question here.
But we've been able to verify that, in fact, there's heavy elements being produced in the atmosphere.
In other words, heavy elements are not only showing up on the anode in the SAFIRE project, they are also being produced in the atmosphere inside the project. We've left links to this Electric View video from yesterday. Shout out to Neil and the rest of the Electric View crew, and pardon my terrible ability to remember people's names. I am the worst, but I'm trying to get better at it, folks. I endeavor to be better. Anyway, there's the GOES electron flux, and it's looking pretty flatlined. Here's the GOES electron X-ray imager, and it's not very X-ray-y. You can see that active region, showing the only brightness, not producing any X-ray flares or anything of that nature. Let's move on to the real-time solar wind. We did see a little spike here right around, looks like about 6 o'clock universal time. Little solar wind density and speed spike there. Could have been that coronal mass ejection, as it was very small and fleeting. So, in any case, current phi angle is way up at 326. That's degrees, by the way, folks. As we measure angles in degrees. I guess all you geometry students must have already known this. Solar wind density, 6.86 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed, 369 kilometers per second. Here's the ACE data, looking corroborative to me. And next we'll look at the geospace magnetosphere movies. We're just going to look at the magneto-hydrodynamic pressure here. And I think we've gotten on repeat What is going on? I'll just let that play all the way through. Let me shrink it down a notch here so you can see the date stamps. 4 hours of pressure. You're going to see a spike come in just after 7 o'clock there. Looking like a disparity between the induced current and the solar wind. Looks like about 50-minute delay there, oddly. Anyway, here's the ground magnetic perturbations here. Changes in the Earth's B field. And you will see an induced current right there, just around 7 o'clock. No surprises happening there. And there's 4 hours of data courtesy University of Michigan. And for that, we thank you. 10.7 centimeter radial flux is still at 70. At least it's not at 64. That's all I have to say. And there's the GOES magnetometer looking a little smoother, as we're fairly solidly in the North Pole-oriented portion of the current sheet. This data 1 hour 31 minutes old from the Gong 2, a series of Earth-based magnetometers as well as space-based ones here at stereo A and over here at stereo B. Nothing too exciting to comment on there. We're expecting to see a couple more days in the North Pole-oriented portion of the current sheet shown here in green. You can see the Earth's field force line here shown in orange. KP index briefly went up to 3 and then straight back down to 0. We're going to skip cosmic rays today, although we did leave links to this site. If you want to go monitor them yourself, just click the description box and you'll find it down there. There's a GOES electron flux, looking actually a little on the low side. Nothing too exciting there. The relativistic electrons are pretty calm. We don't expect to see very many GPS errors right now. Ionosphere is looking pretty normal, with the main anomalies just showing up around the South Atlantic anomaly, which is located around here off the east coast of South America. Otherwise looking pretty normal. Slightly charged up on the southern hemisphere side. Here's the latest image. That one at 8:45 UT. Do the earthquake rundown as we do daily. And the first on the list came in at 9:54 UT yesterday at extreme depth, 493 kilometers and a 4.5 magnitude. Next we see a 4.2 in Mexico, a 4.8 at Japan, 4.7 at Indonesia. I believe this is the largest quake. Don't quote me on it. Anyway, this one at Fiji coming in at a 5.8 magnitude, 493 kilometers depth, coming in at 12:13 UT yesterday. Next we see a significant quake here in Tajikistan, that one at 4.6 magnitude, probably capable of causing some damage there. Here's a 4.2 at Morocco. I don't know that I've ever reported a Moroccan earthquake. Please leave a comment if we did, as I don't remember. Here's a 4.9 at Vanuatu. 4.7 at Greece. That could have caused some damage. Let's hope not. Let's hope sites of antiquity have not crumbled. Here's a 4.5 at the Philippines. We're going to be getting into some interesting stuff in a minute, so don't get bored, folks. And next on the list is a 4.6 in Indonesia. Here's a 5.1 at India, right on the plate boundary there. Here's a 5.6. Apparently there's a town called Mayor's Office in Guam. Yigo Mayor's Office. I don't know why that would be a town. It's an odd name for a town. Please leave a comment if you're viewing the videos from Guam, perhaps on a military base. How about a 4.4 in Tajikistan? That one at nearly 100 kilometers depth heads up there for a larger quake at the surface as we await a magnetic connection to the coronal hole system. And that's the last on the list, that one coming in at 0 hour and 2 minutes just this morning. Here are the pressure maps on windy.com. We'll let that advance about one day. As we see a growing low off the coast of the U.S. That's the northeast coast, by the way. Looks like it's going to ride right up the Canadian coast, past Nova Scotia, and perhaps bringing some rain to Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles. Volcano rundown. Check out this image of Mount Ibu. Great image there. Great nighttime incandescent rocks being hurled into the air, or are they being pulled into the air? Please leave a comment if you think they're being pulled or hurled. Here's the list. Mount Aso, possible activity there. Mount Ibu, obviously happening there. Sanjiang Api exploding, producing an 8,000-foot ash plume. Mount Dakono exploding, 8,000-foot plume there. Popocatépetl's ash has dissipated. Fuego's ash has dissipated. Sangay, remnant ash moving east-southeast at a 21,000-foot altitude. Don't fly through that in your passenger jet. And we will have an Ask a Pilot segment coming soon. Revenador still exploding, 19,000-foot ash plume there. Sabancaya exploding, 24,000-foot ash plume there. And Nevados de Chilean exploding as well. Intermittent emissions are producing a 12,000-foot ash plume. Please do not pole vault over Nevados de Chilean. We need the views. Here's where stuff is in the solar system. Milky Way galaxy team for the win. And there's where stuff will be in 1 week. A new moon shall be on tap. And there's going to be a planetary pileup in the sky, folks. We're going to have a Jupiter-Venus conjunction happening on the 24th, if I remember correctly. Check out spaceweather.com for the sky charts for that. Now let's talk about Saturnian cosmology. There's this amazing timeline that we were turned on to via the Electric View conversation on Skype. Let's talk about catastrophes, or should we say disasters. How about 40 years of dense cloud cover? Yeah, turns out, well, we're not going to get into it, but apparently an entire generation grew up in darkness in Mesoamerica. Links to this below the video also from TikToky.com. The very interesting Saturnian timeline. And it's interesting to say the least, so have a look, as it may blow your mind. Don't worry, folks, the swastika is turning to the left, not to the right. Now, since this timeline is talking about some real catastrophes and some real odd stuff that's not understood at all, let's talk about some nonsensical catastrophes. What is a mass extinction? And are we in one now? Let's watch this article from Cosmos magazine refute itself. A mass extinction is usually defined as a loss of about 3/4 of all species in existence across the entire Earth over a short geological period of time. Now, a lot of climate alarmists are going to tell you that we are in a mass extinction right now. Except, what about the extinction of 3/4 of all species on Earth? I'm not seeing that happen. Are you? Anyway, we've linked to the article anyway if you want to read it. You may lose an IQ point. So please don't attempt to file a lawsuit against us if you lose an IQ point reading a stupid, idiotic article. Here's where stuff is over my head. I'm always interested in that. Check out in-the-sky.org. Make yourself a sky map. We've been doing a star study every day, reading up a little bit about some local stars. And this time we're going to talk about some really local stars, Alpha Centauri. Now, it's a trinary system. And Proxima Centauri is this little tiny red dwarf, which you can barely even see on here. And the other two are Alpha Centauri A and Alpha Centauri B. And we've left links to all of this stuff, including the list of nearest stars and brown dwarfs, If you've got 3D glasses, you can check out that image. It'll might cause a seizure. I don't know. And here's Proxima Centauri, a little red dwarf flare star, believed to be approximately 1/7 the diameter of the sun. Does appear to have a planet orbiting it, which is in some kind of crazy fast orbit at 0.05 astronomical units, an astronomical unit being the distance from the Earth to the Sun on the average, around 93 million miles. This one only located at 7.5 million kilometers, and it completes an orbit in only 11.2 Earth days. It's believed to be a rocky planet, and since Proxima Centauri is a flare star, it's not particularly expected for the planet to have life, but we've left links to it, so have a read about Proxima Centauri if you like, the closest star to our local yellow dwarf, and indeed to us, besides the local yellow dwarf. We've also linked to Proxima Centauri b. That's the planet believed to be orbiting Proxima Centauri. Here's where lightning's coming down when we made the video, and it's currently 4:02 a.m. where I'm located. Do you know where your lightning is? Lightningmaps.org could clarify things for you. And here's a value-added service, the U.S. Doppler radar map. It looks like the Midwest is finally getting some rain instead of snow, although it's probably heavily coated. We've been meaning to do an afternoon video with the visible satellite, just haven't gotten around to it yet. And here's the U.S. water vapor map. Let that play through a few times, just in case you're wondering what's going to be happening with your weather. And we see an interesting convergence zone. Let's take a look at western Montana. Check out that scenario. It's electric, folks. Oh, man. Geez, if you're flying a plane across Montana today, expect some turbulence. Respect existence or expect resistance. Here are the jet streams over the west, and talk about all over the place. Meridional jet stream flow at its finest. Geez. I said geez. Here's the eastern world's jets, and it's just all over the place. And we don't want this video to be all over the place, so we got to continue on here with the that is censored and that is a sinkhole, the vulgarity-free section of the video, where we attempt to help our viewers understand the distinction between their and a hole in the ground. Arctic permafrost is turning into a carbon source. Oh my gosh. Did you know that Arctic permafrost has more carbon sequestered in the permafrost than has ever been released by humans throughout the history of mankind? If this melts, there will be so much carbon in the atmosphere that plants will grow much better, and the temperature of the planet will not change as a result. Have you ever heard the term garbage in, garbage out? It's a programming term, and what we use it for is if your program is garbage, or even if the data is garbage. In other words, if the code or the data are garbage, your output is garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. You put in crappy programs, crappy climate models, you get garbage out, and your predictions based on CO2 being Earth's climate control knob will not work, and you will look stupid. Now let's talk about the melting of the permafrost. First of all, does Siberia look like it's melting to you? Now this is updated on November 16th. That's only 2 days ago, folks. And the Northern Hemisphere, it's looking a little snowy. What do you say? Let's look at the graphs. Oh, the snow mass balance is way outside of the multi-decadal 1982 through 2012 average, well outside of it by, I don't know, 100 gigatons or something like that. Here's the snow cover of Rutgers, and here's another snow depth map. So I don't know when this is expected to start happening, as we encourage our viewers to go out in their backyard and burn a tire and increase your carbon footprint, as it'll do nothing but make plants grow better and have zero effect on the climate. By the way, check out realclimatescience.com and check out Tony Heller's stance on this. Let's check out the windy.com snow depth map so I can stop ranting about global warming and how there is none. Now, there's a lot of concern about Greenland melting, and it's, by the way, covered coast to coast in over 9 feet of snow. And I don't know why the hell, there we go. Oh, more than 5 meters of snow. Okay, cheers. Anyway, there's Siberia, and it doesn't look like it's melting, folks. Just saying. Please press like and subscribe on YouTube if you enjoy the content. Also, check us out on other social media, also linked below the video. Let's talk social media. Were you aware that Twitter is banning more people for social dissent? Were you aware that Twitter's senior editorial executive for Europe is also an active officer in the British Army's 77th Brigade, a unit dedicated to online warfare and psyops? Oh, yeah. So this Zero Hedge article, Twitter, ouch. This is part of the reason why we don't use it. We're going to start using Gab over the winter. Now, we are on Twitter, so check us out there if you like, twitter.com/smAsho. Although I don't really tweet because I can't stand the platform. I think it sucks. As big tech tries to break the internet, and the internet proves over and over again that it can't be broken, but the big tech companies can be broken, so enjoy that. Dummies trying to censor people and information itself. Now, Mark learned how to drink water in front of Congress, and for that we salute him. It won't be a Nazi salute, don't worry. It won't be any kind of a... Yes, Mark. Your wish is my command, Mark. Now, we're huge entropy busters on this channel, and that's part of the reason why we make the videos, as we try to suspend the nonsense and prop up the truth. Thanks, viewers, by the way, for tuning in. Let's go over the smAsho mission, as we have started a nonprofit organization. The donations are not yet tax deductible, but we're looking to do that by the end of the year if all goes according to plan. So please donate via the links below the video. The mission is to assist, study, and report on the ongoing formation of a unified theory of physics, to raise the awareness of the general public of the relationship between space weather and Earth effects, to connect and consult with media organizations to multiply our reach, hence these videos, to demonstrate cutting-edge proof of concept solutions to problems, to publish scientific papers in a multidisciplinary manner, to assist mankind by advancing the study of predictive phenomenon, to help the humans, and to not be ossified in our beliefs, and to treat those who are with love, respect, and inclusion to the scientific discussion. So if you're into the mission, please become a patron. We've only got to replace a few more $1,000 a month, and we will go full-time with this process. And the operation is growing in ways that are not evident to our viewers yet. And thanks, Smash Team, for tuning in. Please stay tuned for some bonus features. Here's another reason to visit the Lehigh Valley, as we talked about witch stores and Chris Kindle marks yesterday. There's 2 more trails being completed. Actually, they're recently completed. Here's the map, the Jordan Creek Greenway. I got to head out here with the mountain bike to explore all this and see what it's all about. Links to this article also. If you're visiting the Lehigh Valley, drop me a line. Perhaps we'll ride together. SMASHOmash.org. Change is coming soon. Hey, SMASHO staff, what's up with that? Get in the salt mines. Get in the salt mines today. Were you aware that intermittent fasting increases longevity? Now, this article is about how it increases longevity in cardiac catheterization patients. I'm here to tell you that intermittent fasting increases longevity, period. And anyway, just read the article. It's linked below the video. Were you aware that the ketogenic diet helps tame the flu virus? The ketogenic diet helps tame all viruses, probably, but here's an article about it actually being known to be taming the flu virus. As your body learns to burn fat, it gets all kinds of skills. Get off the sugar, folks. They showed that mice fed a ketogenic diet and infected with influenza had a higher survival rate than mice on a high-carb normal diet, probably associated with the inflammation of a high-carb diet. Anyway, the researchers found that the ketogenic diet triggered the release of gamma-delta T cells, immune system cells that produce mucus in the cell linings of the lung, while the high-carbohydrate diet did not. Links to this video article also below the video in the description. Let's talk about a YouTube channel. One also, let's just say, a little bit critical of certain big tech companies. Mercola, 342,000 subscribers. Got to get this guy on the show, or perhaps get on his. Shout out Dr. Mercola. Talking about oxalate toxicity and certain companies and their attempt to do certain unethical things and so on. And we've linked it below the video. Here's the final bonus feature. It's the local yellow dwarf at 94 angstroms. Here's a zoom in of the south. And here's a zoom in of the north. Here's a zoom in of my face. And here's me out of here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please press like and subscribe. Please tell your friends, tell your foes. Lots of fun for everyone. Please leave a comment. And thanks to all of those who attended the live premiere feature. We are out. Have a lovely day. We'll be coming back at you possibly this afternoon with another video, so stay tuned for that. Stare at the sun. Use the proper instruments like the STO. Don't drink it if you do, don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may that solar wind be at your back and that atherosclerosis absent from your veins.